I'll watch some TV. It'll help me to relax!
Welcome back to the Ren and Stimpy recap. Last week we talked about An Ape Divided, and today we are taking a look at Stimpy's cartoon show.
And with these hands, I hold the fate of millions.
So I think this title card is pretty good. It's really fitting for the episode and stands out. Of course, it doesn't look super good or anything, but that is kind of the point. I also think it's really funny how all the credits are misspelled. We start with something I think is completely new, a basement. So Ren finds Stimpy down here drawing or writing and being really into it. Stimpy uses his ear as a pencil sharpener and then spits out I don't know what it's called, but it's like the waste from the pen, like a hairball. It's creative, I gotta give them that.
What are you doing?
Stimpy says he's making a cartoon just like his hero and the godfather of animation, Wilbur Cobb, which is to my knowledge the first time he is mentioned in the show.
You see, Ren, all I have to do is draw the exact same picture over and over, 1,000 times per second, and voila!
I know very little about animation, I'm just gonna say that already, but yeah, even if this is an exaggeration, being an animator must kind of feel like that. I guess it's easier nowadays with the more resources available, but still.
What did I tell you about cartoons? They're not real? And, they'll ruin your mind?
I actually remember that. Pretty sure it's another callback to the first pairing of the show. They must really like those two episodes, can't blame them for that though.
So now that you've come to your senses about this Cobb foolery, what are you going to do next?
So Ren tries to get Stimpy to not make cartoons anymore, but Stimpy being Stimpy comes to the conclusion that he's still gonna finish his cartoon, which Ren is not happy about.
Well, go ahead then! Finish your stinky old puppets! See if I care!
Ren really hates cartoons. I always find stuff like that funny, you know, since he is a cartoon. He screams at Stimpy to go ahead, but that he is not going to help him, which I don't think Stimpy asked for in the first place. We get this cool scene where Ren is starting to freak out from not being able to like keep away from looking at Stimpy's cartoon stuff. Ren breaks down and confesses to Stimpy that he actually wants to work on his cartoon, but there is one problem.
I can't. I can't draw.
We got some good faces here. Stimpy tells Ren that it's okay since lots of people that make cartoons can't draw and says that he can do something else. And he suggests to Ren that he can write.
I can't type.
Stimpy asks Ren if he can make coffee, but he can't even do that. Ren says he has no talent, which prompts Stimpy to immediately go to producer.
You can play producer. Producer? What's that?
Stimpy then says that after the cartoon is done, the producer takes all the credit, which gets Ren to make this face. Then he gets into this really funny dance scene. Stimpy's reaction is great. They shake on it, and Ren is now officially the producer for Stimpy's cartoon show and instantly starts acting up.
Now get to work, deadbeat!
That did not sound like Ren at all. It really threw me off. In the next shot we see a steam whistle, as this has already been turned into somewhat a factory. If you saw my retrospective on the cats who laid the golden hairball, you know I'm excited about this part of the plot. Stimpy's working hard here. That is really funny. Nah, I'm just like excited to see all this. Even though I'm not that well educated on animation, I obviously find it interesting, otherwise I wouldn't have this channel, and here we get some insight, although of course with a very satirical take. Ren calls Stimpy into his office to take a break from drawing to draw Ren's name on his office. I can't really fault Ren for this, because having your own office seems amazing. We see the contrast with the life of the animator and the life of the producer, as Ren is living in luxury while Stimpy gets screamed at for being late back from his 5-minute lunch break. Poor Stimpy has to pay rent to get a pencil, which I think might be a parallel to how sometimes the people working hard on these cartoons have to pay out of their own pockets, but I could be wrong. This whole episode is of course very meta. A tired Stimpy is now out of paper and can't even get that from the supply closet, so bro just straight up starts chopping down trees. I really enjoyed that shot. Ren is, I think, at least to some part resembling John K here, although I'm really confused. We will get into that later in the video, but I'm really confused about the whole like nature of this episode and the whole meta thing with it. Yeah, Ren is now here to critique Stimpy's work, and he's not pleased, throwing almost everything away. Stimpy is doing all the work for this cartoon himself, going from drawing to the camera room and then the editing room, all while being super tired, but he gets new strength from looking at the picture of Wilbur Cobb. Stimpy collapses with his final version of the cartoon, and we cut to Ren enjoying his time at a pool with, once again, two ladies. It's always two. I noticed that, like this episode and the two before them, all had similar scenes involving Ren and two women. Never one and never three. We are not gonna get deeper into that though.
Hey, 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 hey! You're blocking my sun! Oh, it's you!
Stimpy has gone all the way to wherever this is to deliver the cartoon to Ren and tells him it's finished while looking like this. Those eyes are terrifying, and the non-close-up version of him with his face is arguably even more disturbing. Look at him. Then he makes this face, which is one of his best.
Think you're done, huh? Oh, yes. It came out very chunky.
Ren says it all looks the same, and we even see Stimpy's hand in like every frame, but he just says it's a film and then gives it back to Stimpy, who is excited to show it to his idol Wilbur Cobb. And that's exactly who they go to meet next.
Thursday? Yeah.
So here he is in the flesh. I'm just gonna say this is the first appearance of Wilbur Cobb, even though there was a prototype version of him before, but it's literally just one episode apart, so for continuity's sake, yeah, we haven't seen him before. That made me wanna puke. One of the most uncomfortable things in the whole show, in my opinion, and right now my right ear itches. I know it was his left ear, but my body is not smart enough to know that.
What can you do for me?
Here is the cartoon movie I have brought to show you.
Wilbur Cobb shushes Stimpy and tells him that the wolves have teeth. I can barely understand Cobb, just from how he is voice acted. I don't have any problems with the acting, he just talks so that my non-native English speaker ears can't pick up anything.
My film?
The film! The film! Of course, the film!
Cobb just starts speaking straight nonsense. No, at least I'm not supposed to be understanding what he is saying. He stands up, leaving his arms behind, and walks up to the two to keep ramble on about nothing.
That's how I got to where I am today!
Wilbur starts coughing and almost dies, firing his dentures right into Ren's mouth, which... ugh. By the way, I really like seeing Ren and Stimpy with suits on. It's not a completely new look since we had Sven Hoek, but I liked it there and I like it here.
Mosen Nazi. Now don't get me wrong, I'll eat just about anything. So long as it's easy.
Ren is suffocating while Cobb is talking about World War I or eating or something, and I can't even follow. Ren swallows the dentures, and then in the next shot Wilbur has teeth again.
Sure, you gotta have two things, pushers and shovers. Oh, we made mistakes.
So he keeps rambling and his ear falls off, which looks just as you'd expect it would in this show. It falls on Stimpy and I still have no idea what bro is on about.
From one man to another, he is no man whatsoever. You got that, shorty?
Now he thinks he's a kangaroo. Ren and Stimpy starts crying and asks if they can just watch the cartoon, which, yeah, please.
I'll have to think about it. But in the meantime, let's have a look at your film.
That line was very funny once I got it. Like he said, he has to think about if they are gonna watch the cartoon, and until he can decide if they are gonna watch it, they are gonna watch it. That probably didn't make much sense when I said it, but yeah, they watch the cartoon. Just the intro, and this is already amazing. Hoek Vision is a genius, and Ren just putting his name all over the film is very much on character.
Ren,
Explodey, how about a kiss?
So I don't really know how to describe this cartoon. It's kind of impressive just in a visual level, it actually looks good, but it's not very coherent.
There's nothing wrong here in Montana, Poopy. Do you want to pick my nose, Poopy?
What is going on? This cartoon is so nonsensical and yet still really funny somehow, which describes many of the episodes we have seen so far.
Oh my God, Explodey! It's Peg Pelvis Pete! Come to kill us!
So this guy, called whatever she just said, is jumping towards them, and then more stuff happens. This must be what Ren and Stimpy feels like to some people, because seriously, what is going on? Explodey and Poopy kiss, and then Explodey explodes, I think, and that's the end. Wilbur is impressed, rightfully so, because that was a masterpiece.
Keep up the good work, and someday you'll be where I am.
So apparently this whole time they have been in jail, and Wilbur and the two animals get put in an electric chair, is that what it's called? And then the episode ends with it being turned on, electrocuting all three of them. We have a segment here at the end with the flood segment. It's basically just a log segment but with a new product. This one is definitely one of the better ad segments. It actually has stuff going on instead of the normal, the ad with two kids playing that they have done way too many times. It gets a new song as well that, while not very good, is, well, I guess it's still a song.
Live!
It's the most perfect.
And that was Stimpy's cartoon show. So this one I had decently high expectations for, and it kind of delivered. I expected just an all-around good episode, and what I got was an episode that had, well, some great parts, some good parts, and some, parts. The whole first half with the making of Stimpy's cartoon is very strong. The dynamic with Ren as Stimpy's boss in a factory-like setting has been taken from The Cat Who Laid the Golden Hairball, and made even better here. All the little references, if that's what you could call it, to the real-life parallels with the making of Ren and Stimpy makes it very interesting. The other half, sadly, is not as strong. Don't get me wrong, Stimpy's cartoon is amazing and worthy of an Emmy, but I'm just not sold on Wilbur Cobb as a character. I will have a lot of time to get used to him, but here it just feels like he is here to fill out the runtime by just saying nonsense for some minutes so this can be a special. Because yet again, this could probably have been a normal length episode. I'm gonna make a video in the future testing out if these specials actually can be cut down to 11 minutes and still working, but for now I just felt like it dragged on a little bit. This episode was funny at times, but nothing crazy. Way more of a story-heavy episode though, especially in the first half, so it makes sense. There were some lines here and there, and Stimpy's cartoon was very funny, so it's not an unfunny episode or anything. Okay, let's run through some fun facts. This episode was written by Young K. I'm not sure actually how much of it was changed after his departure from the show, because I felt like the character Ren was playing was Young K, but if Young K wrote the episode, then it wouldn't make sense, because he doesn't really feel like a person who would critique himself that much. But he had a big involvement in the writing room, which is, yeah, it's very ironic with the content of this episode. Also, Wilbur Cobb is apparently playing Walt Disney in this episode, which I did not get. I just assumed he was a parody of some, how do you pronounce it? I have no idea how you say that word. Executive? Yeah, like at Nickelodeon or something, but him being Walt Disney makes sense, I guess. This episode had multiple stuff changed from the original airing. I watched both episodes and I gotta thank Yusuf for sending me the original airing. And there are some minor stuff that's removed, which didn't really make sense unless it was cut for time, which also wouldn't make sense doing after the first airing. I'm gonna show some of the stuff removed here on screen. It's things like Ren and Stimpy using a bicycle pedal, Ren talking on the phone, and Stimpy clocking out at sunrise. Some scenes were also apparently in a different order, and the sound mixing was different. Gotta take a deeper look into that in a future video. All in all, this was a good episode. Join me next week where we're taking a look at Jiminy Lummox.
Goodbye, folks.